So for my project, I did case study 15, the Sturm, Ruger and Co. firearm industry. So first off, for the overview, uh, Bill Ruger developed a passion for firearms when he was younger, and he spent majority of his free time, acknowledging himself about firearms, how to assemble them, take them apart, of course, put them back together, etc. So once he got out of high school, ended up attending college for a few years and decided to drop out, where he accepted a job offer in the machine gun industry for the United States government, where he developed how to make machine guns, obviously, and assemble them, put them together, etc. This would be his true inspiration for Ruger when he took off for his career, but as well, he had many failures, which comes with a lot of success. So, a couple of months after Ruger quit his job, the U.S. Army was looking to replace the machine gun design, and Ruger had his own design of himself that he wanted to publish. So, yet he could not find anybody to publish his design, so he found another job at Auto Ordnance Corporation, which the job taught him a lot of valuable life lessons that he'd use in his career, such as valuable mass production and manufacturing process that grasp a lot of value of product and innovation and generating demand for his company, which helped develop a competitive edge for more competitors. So, when Ruger first wanted to develop his corporation, it happened in 1946, called the Ruger Corporation. And throughout his corporation, he ventured to accomplish three things, or he wanted to accomplish three things: supply parts for firearms industries, which he did; develop a hardware tool line; and he wanted to produce an automatic pistol. So the automatic pistol was pretty cool at the time because no one really done it, and it would have been a great use. So even though Ruger had a well thought out plan and exceptional future plans, his corporation did fall through, unfortunately. And he learned a very valuable lesson about not to borrow money from other corporations, because you got to borrow or you got to prepay them back. He said for himself, when you borrow money, it's a lot easier to fail than when you have no debt at all. So at the time, Ruger ended up meeting his fellow co-partner, Alexander Sturm, who was a Yale graduate who had a very wealthy family and helped his business out tremendously, and what helped it boom and skyrocket. So when these two came together, they created a company called Sturm and Ruger Company Incorporated. It was created by a manufacturer of the automatic gun that Ruger had intended to develop in his failing company. It turned out that Sturm's family was very wealthy, as I said, and their family even offered a generous $50,000 to help jumpstart the company with the new company's policy. And the corporation is no longer in debt because their company has done so well that they paid off their dues, and now they're not borrowing money from anybody else. So unfortunately, Ruger lost his partner Sturm due to hepatitis in 1951. So Ruger had to run the company by himself, and Ruger's enthusiasm for weapons drove the company through the roof. And from back in 1949, when they had $50,000 and they started the company, they're at when he retired in 2000, the company is worth over 200 million of sales. So today, Sturm Ruger and Company is principal engaged in design, manufacture, and sell firearms to domestic companies in a safe and responsible way. The company made up of Ruger and Sturm has really developed throughout the years. In fact, they've done so well. The company started selling vesting castings along with firearms. This is probably their second main product, other than their rifles and shotguns, pistols, etc. So, with investing castings, they're able to start selling these in the New York Stock Exchange, to where they're able to have shareholders for the company. Ruger and Sturm wanted to focus on three major focal points in the firearm industry, and they were the pistols, rifles, and revolvers. These were the three main firearms that gave them the most success. And they thought that these three guns would bring the most attention to the business because they seemed the most popular guns people like to get. It seemed that Ruger had learned several lessons over the years when trying to accomplish his dream in the firearm business. The number one lesson he learned, obviously, was not to borrow money. Of course, with the help of his $50,000, though, he was able to start the company, and he eventually paid the family back. Second idea was able to get them a successful business was the past experience with other jobs and businesses like the mass corporations or mass productions and all the other ways to run a business he learned back in his old jobs. So, what's the firm's first primary mission? So, their first mission overall is to produce firearms that are safety or that responsibly for responsible, safe citizens. So if you go to the Ruger website, you will see that they have all sorts of different safety protocols and messages all over their website stating that they have to be responsible and only the right citizens can purchase their guns. They have dedicated materials and other resources to promote gun safety all through gun owners, including their youth programs. So Ruger's motto, even from the beginning, has been make arms makers for responsible citizens. Ruger guns are built with both internal and external safety features in mind, strictly from the Ruger company. So for more than 60 years, Ruger has been a model on corporate communication responsibility. Going forward, they want to reduce the number of accidents with firearms, including with younger age people. The firm's overall strategy is to consistently develop and introduce new products to their target market, which is sports gun hunters or like target shooters. So like anybody wants to go out and deer hunt or duck hunt, or if they just want to take their guns out to the range and shoot at targets. So the website states, and they expanded the capacity for certain mature products, introduced new capacity for new product introductions, and included productions from 33% in 2012. During this time, inventory turns were increased and helping the company avoid approximately 12 million inventory growth. Their manufacturing company seems to have a lot of success with new products, and the new products bring 30% of their net income. So, in order to fulfill their overall demand and improve capacity to bring their items, the company is continuing to identify innovative ways to improve efficiency, and capacity in accordance to their plan. So, the core concepts that they have, I want to they will be focused on their employees by providing necessary tools for the employees to comply to industry standards. So, for their employees, they want to have compensation for their record employees, which is the paid time off, different medical and dental plans, vacation packages, retired plans, and even discount and profit sharing within the industry. From the recruiting aspects at Ruger, you basically just have to have any basic skills, and you can walk in and have an interview and start right away. But of course, they'll only start you at a certain position that you're skilled in, or if you have any skilled positions at all, you could just start at a cash register or stocking or anything. So some of the primary products and services within the company is, of course, they specialize in guns and then also the casting investments like we talked about. So some of their top products are the pistols, revolvers, rifles, and shotguns. So they make some of the outloading rifles, single and double barrel revolvers, rimfire outloading pistols, and its guns are sold by independent wholesale distributors to independent firearms retailers. Ruger also makes metal products known as their castings, of course. And for their total 25% of their sales, their most popular item out there has been the rifles. The rifles have made well over 25%, honestly, and they've had an exceptional amount of rifles since 2016, and the rifles have made Ruger and the rest of the company 40% of their total sales. And so I'd say this percentage is well over 25 percentile that was asked. And with two or more products being combined over 50%, rifles being 40% of Ruger's total sale, and the other product that can combine with rifles add up over 50% would be their pistols. So that'd be easily 78% of their total sales coming in. And shortly behind all this, the rifles and pistols, the revolvers have made 16% of the total sales, and just those three products alone combined for over 90% of the company's sales concluded. So who knows how much their casting's got to hold for over 10% at least. So For the core market strategy, the target market for them, like I said earlier, was for hunting sport industry. And the companies, they target any males or females interested in sports hunting, target shooters, etc. But with their pricing strategies, they've always had the lowest prices guaranteed for the highest quality products. And they want to focus on pricing strategy, reducing costs, and providing new value propositions to customers by offering great quality products that they can. And for their distribution strategy, of course, they make the guns and other items there. They make them, sell them to other companies as like a whole, and then they distribute them to the citizens out there. They can sell it. They can also people can buy guns straight from Ruger companies and other stores and just have them shipped to their house. The promotion mix strategy. So when looking at Ruger's products and services, it's always good to check the website first to see what they have. In addition to all the other resources found, we provide the media and retailer resources page to help you quickly and easily find what you're looking for in the promotion tricks. I mean, they have all kinds of promotion strategies from Twitter to Facebook, their web page, of course, commercials. They're everywhere. And some of their primary competitors are Remington, which is probably the top gun producing firm out there, honestly. And then I would say it would be Ruger and Sturm and Co. But some of their other competitors are also Vista Outdoor Operations and American Outdoor Brands Corporation and Colt Defense, which I haven't heard a whole lot about these, honestly, even being one that's heard quite a bit about guns. But all these corporations have very similar product lines basing off what their products will do and make. They also have the same target market because they're all companies that support target shooting and sports hunting. So the top three respective market shares, I would say their top competitor is definitely Remington, which has the oldest firearm manufactured in the United States since 1816, so well before Ruger and Stern. Remington's market share in 2016 was 865 million. So, and also the Vista Outdoor Operations was 2.5 billion in 2017, along with the Market Outdoor Share Corporation. So, what countries account for a majority of the sales? The United States seems to be the only manufacturer for Ruger's arms. They have several plants around the United States that manufacture their guns, but other countries can buy their guns from America, but they can only buy it straight from their website. Uh, Top three percentages of sales. United States, as I this is the only one I could find, and they host for 49% of the top percentage of sales. One significant issue that was impacting the other countries, the lack of available raw materials and component parts that could disrupt and even seize the company's manufacturing operations. If the lack of amount of raw materials happens, countries other than the United States will not be able to buy their products. So, for the outlook of the future growth of the firm, if you see the positive growth with the primary factors that are contributing, I definitely see a positive growth to the company. They have a lot more leeway than other firms, but with the technology and other advancing factors, Ruger will find a few ways to make more guns. Even though we never know what the gun laws will hold between the political parties, there will always be an advancement in guns. Ultimately, a lot of changes will be made by the fly based off what happens in regulation. And you can see the couple different graphs I made. So the four factors for the pest that have the most or the greatest impact. Keeping up with the political spectrum is the most important factors that identified by the pest. With political positions always changing, new laws and written rules are being made, especially with owning a company and selling firearms in different states, because each state has their own rules about who can buy a gun, what they have to test through, and whether they can get different permits, concealed carries, etc. So, discussing different ethical and social responsibility for the firms. Their code of ethics is one which the company seeks to ensure that corporate compliance and the company's other policies, procedure, and are effectively implemented. Statement. Let's see. They take full responsibility for the employees, and it's all based off how they train their employees and how they hired. A significant range of instruments is included in the Ruger Group compliance management system to support compliance with legal obligations. Ruger is one of the nation's leading firearms makers, and their industry is required to make guns safe for all sports hunters to use. So, an update from the ending year showing to the present year. Ruger and the rest of their company consistently are working on ways to improve a gun safety and making sure their citizens purchase a gun pass to test their guns in order to purchase a gun. So they got to sign like a waiver basically and improve that they're liable for the gun and they're going to be safe with it, and then they are able to test it out at their local shooting range or at Ruger and Co. Also, with how often different politics are elected, gun rights and laws are constantly changing. And from years shown in the case, Ruger at the time had the other partner, and the other partner was Sturm. So now in the present day, Sturm is no longer with us due to the hepatitis. So Ruger has had to run the company by himself. Of course, he retired back in 2000. With all the gun violence that's happened in recent years, gun rights have become a lot stricter since the case was opened in 2018. There were more gun rights given to Trump got elected, but nobody knows what future politics will bring to the table. All Ruger can do is continue to push for gun safety and do the best he can do to keep the company safe. Thank you.